All right, so we're diving deep today into Pasted Text
Okay.
by Ira Warren Whiteside.
Yeah.
And, this piece gives us like a really personal window
Yeah.
into his life. He's 69 years old. He's dealing with,
Hmm.
some serious stuff, a stroke, losing his wife after 50 years.
Wow, 50 years.
But he's also, found love again.
It's amazing.
And it's all kind of laid out in this writing
Right.
that is honestly so unique. It's like repetitive,
Yeah.
raw, almost poetic, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it really does feel like you're getting these unfiltered thoughts and feelings
Right.
straight from his, heart,
Exactly.
Mhm.
And that's what makes it so compelling.
Absolutely.
So let's get into it. Like, what can we actually learn
Yeah.
about Ira from this piece?
Well, let's talk about that repetition you mentioned, because right away
Yeah.
I'm struck by it. It's kind of unsettling. Is there something deeper going on here?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, one phrase that really grabs you is, "I'm in the making." Right. And he says it over and over. What do you think that means for a guy in his situation?
I mean, you'd expect someone who's gone through so much to maybe dwell on the past.
Yeah.
Or be anxious about what's next, right?
Sure.
But this phrase, it suggests he's focused on the now, on shaping his present. And you know what? That's actually a huge part of resilience.
Oh, interesting.
Especially for stroke survivors. Studies show that focusing on the present can help with anxiety, mood, even cognitive recovery. It's really powerful.
So it's like he's pushing back against being defined
Totally.
by his age, by his health.
He's saying, I'm not done yet. I'm still evolving.
And that totally ties into his new love, right? With Carol.
Oh, absolutely. See, finding love later in life, that's a whole other ballgame.
Yeah.
You're carrying, years of baggage, loss.
Right.
It makes you hesitant to, be vulnerable again.
And Ira's honest about that pain, you
Sure.
know. He mentions his wife several times. So he even uses the phrase, "till death do us part,"
Right. Right.
which is interesting.
It is. It's like he's honoring his past while also saying, hey, life goes on.
Right?
He's not trying to replace anyone, but he's allowing himself to love again in a new way. And this is a question for you, listener. Have you ever thought about that? Like, the different forms love can take in our lives.
It's deep stuff. And speaking of deep stuff, there's this line about their love being a climb,
Oh, yeah.
not a fall, a climb.
Intentional, right?
Very deliberate wording.
It's a choice. Like, they
Yeah.
didn't just fall for each other.
Right.
They built something
Yes.
consciously.
I
Like, they
guess.
worked at it.
Yeah. And maybe
Yeah.
that's something our listeners can relate to. Like, those relationships that feel like
Yes.
a climb rather than a fall.
Absolutely.
So much to unpack there. Okay. So we've got to circle back to Ira's writing style,
Okay.
because that repetition, right? Is it purely a cognitive thing
Yeah.
from the stroke?
Hmm.
Or is it intentional, like a stylistic choice?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, I'm thinking maybe it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
It could be how he's processing everything, right? The
Right.
stroke, the grief, the new love.
It's almost like he's
Trying to make sense of it all.
yes, like a mantra,
Yeah.
reinforcing these truths to himself over and over.
Yeah, but it also creates this rhythm, right?
Look, for sure. There's
Yeah.
definitely a musicality to it, almost like a poem, like you said.
Exactly. So it's like it's his unique voice
Exactly.
coming through, shaped by his experiences.
Absolutely. And that's what makes it so fascinating, right?
So, okay, big picture. What are we taking away from Ira's story?
Resilience, for one.
Yes,
The complexities of love and loss.
absolutely.
And this idea that even at 69,
Mhm.
after everything he's been through, he's still in the making.
Yeah.
He's still evolving.
It's powerful stuff. It is. And it's a reminder for all of us, We're all works in progress,
Right.
shaped by our experiences, but not defined by them.
Beautifully put. And hearing Ira talk about being present,
Yeah.
living in the now, it really makes you think, right, how do you balance
Mhm.
reflecting on the past with embracing the present
Right.
in your own life? What does being in the making mean to you, listener?
I think that's a great question to leave everyone with.
Absolutely.
It's something we can all ponder.
Definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our deep dive into Ira's Pasted Text.
Fascinating piece.
Really is.
Yeah,
And a powerful story.
definitely.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's been great.
It has.
And until next time, keep exploring,
Keep learning
keep thinking.
and keep being in the making.
Absolutely.